Majority Floor Leader. Wala kang sound.
While waiting for our floor leader, I'll take the floor as deputy. Mr. Speaker, the last incident we have was the calling of resolution number 47, congratulating and condemning the secretary. Upon discussion with the principal authors, they will not anymore take the floor for their manifestation. So this is a simple resolution. Unless we are inviting, however, everyone to join this resolution.
What is the motion?
A motion to include all members of the parliament in this resolution. As co-authors.
There's a motion to include all members of parliament if you want.
If they want, yes. So I move that they be included. So if there is no objection, I assume that they want to be part.
There is now a motion from the acting majority leader to include everybody in the proposed resolution duly seconded. There any objection? If I do not hear, the chair does not hear any objection, that means you want to be included. So since there is no objection, the motion is here.
That being the case, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker, I move to approve this simple resolution, resolution 47.
There is a motion to
Subject to style, Mr.
approve this resolution.
Subject to style, because apparently there is in the title, it is not by committee on appointments, it is commission on appointments.
Subject to
I
style.
will accede, Mr. Speaker.
The amendments is accepted. Are we in the period of amendments or are we in the period of
No, we
debate?
move to dispense
Approve
with
na.
the
Approval na pala.
I move to approve the resolution.
The motion was to approve the resolution subject to style, duly seconded.
Mr. Speaker,
Is that an objection?
I have proposed amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay,
To better
please
improve, Mr.
state the amendments directly.
Okay.
May we recognize MP Rab, Mr. Speaker?
The
Her amendment.
lady from Lanao Sur is recognized.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, my first proposed amendment is because we want to give emphasis on Secretary Pangandaman's identity as a Bangsamoro. I would like to propose for the insertion after the first whereas clause as the second clause, which states that for us, Secretary Pangandaman is a Bangsamoro professional, a Maranao, whose father is a native from Marawi, and whose grandparents are from the royal houses of Lanao del Sur.
Mr. Speaker, we accede to that amendment so that
The
we can
proposed
approve.
amendments is accepted. Any more amendments?
Mr. Speaker, my second proposed amendment is on the third whereas clause, where it states that Secretary Pangandaman has made the Bangsamoro people proud, as this underscores the trust and confidence accorded her by the President and the Committee on Appointment. My proposed amendment, Mr. Speaker, is to add after the word President, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
Mr. Speaker, while we already approved, I acceded because there is the contatilla subject to style. So that can be part of the style.
Mr. Speaker, I still have one very important, and I think
May
this-
I call your attention? The stage now is
Yeah,
Approval.
for approval.
yes,
We did not pass through the period of amendments.
yes.
So maybe that can be the subject that can be included in the motion to
yes.
approve, subject to style.
Yes.
May I continue, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, may I, in order to abbreviate proceeding, may I ask the lady
To submit,
MP to submit this style to the Secretariat? so
please
that we-
submit your proposed amendments to the Secretariat so that it can be incorporated.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. So which means to say, Mr. Speaker, that the proposed amendments are already accepted?
Yes, we have accepted that earlier and we have
Yes,
said
yes.
subject.
I haven't-
But
I haven't stated yet, Mr. Speaker, my other proposed amendments. So If this is okay with you, then there will be no problem, Mr. Speaker, because,
If it does not do
Oh.
violence to the
Yeah.
provision of the resolution,
yes, Mr.
then it
Speaker.
shall be accepted. But it will deviate already
No,
from the
Mr.
substance of
Mr.
the
Speaker,
resolution, then
Since this is a matter of style, if it is only on grammar and semantics, then we can accede. But if it will affect the
Ah.
substance, then we would reject.
Mr. Speaker, in my last supposed proposed amendment is to put additional clause.
With all respect, Mr. Chair, we have already requested the lady
to submit,
MP to submit. So that we can abbreviate our proceedings. Thank
we
you.
cannot lengthen this.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, then thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, we are now in incident 7 on
we
resolution.
will now approve the resolution.
We move to approve the resolution subject to.
There is a motion to approve the resolution duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
The next incident, Mr. Speaker, is the reading of proposed resolution
Hindi ko na naririnig, Joe.
Resolution number 48. May we direct the Secretary General to read the resolution 48.
May we request the Secretary General is directed to read proposed resolution 48, the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 48 entitled "A Resolution Urging the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission, BHRC, Philippine National Police Maguindanao Provincial Office, PNP Maguindanao, BARM, Scene of the Crime Operatives, SOCO, and other concerned agencies to conduct separate and independent investigations on the alleged torture of Mr. Johari Maungko Dagalangit that resulted to his death while in the custody of PNP Barira inside their police station on 25 September 2022, and to present their findings and recommendations to the Parliament Committee on Public Order and Safety. Author, Member of the Parliament, Hussein P. Munoz.
Mr. Speaker, the author MP Munoz waived his right to present his manifestation or his authorship speech. So we refer this to the Committee on Peace, Order, and Safety.
The said resolution is referred to the Committee on
Peace,
Peace, Order, and Security.
Safety, Mr. Speaker.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
May we proceed with the reading of proposed resolution number 49? May we direct Secretary General to read, including the names of the authors.
The Secretary General is directed to read proposed resolution 49, the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 49 entitled "Resolution requesting the Supreme Court of the Philippines to create a committee on Sharia bar integration and to consider the adoption of the draft rules integrating the Philippine Sharia bar pursuant to Section 15, Article 10 of the Republic Act number 11054, or the Organic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Authors, members of the Parliament, Shah Ilaiha B. Dumama Alba, Mailing S. Mantawin, Abdul Wahab M. Pak, Amrosi A. Makatanong, Marjani S. Makasalong, Soharto S. Ismael, Eddie M. Ali, Matarol M. Estino, Haron M. Abbas, Ramon A. Piang Sr., Ahmad I. Abbas, Tawakal D. Mitimbang, Mujib C. Abu, and Abdullah E. Gayak.
Mr. Speaker, the authors also waive their right to present any manifestation, but and since they are
The
not,
author is not.
they waive the right communicated to the floor. So we can now refer this to the Committee on Justice.
The said resolution is referred to the Committee on Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next incident is the reading of proposed resolution number 50. May we direct again the Secretary General to read.
Proposed resolution, the next proposed resolution, the Secretary General is directed to read the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 50 entitled "A Resolution Extending Deepest Condolences and Sympathy to the Bereaved Family of former Barangay Chairman of Dalican, Datu Udin Sinsuat, Datu Jamael Q. Sinsuat Sr. in the irreparable loss and great pain they are experiencing from his brutal demise. Author, Member of the Parliament, Mohagir M. Iqbal. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Ahmad Abbas, Harun Abbas, Basit Abbas, Mujib Abu, Musber E. Alauddin, Ibrahim D. Ali, Dan S. Asnawi, Pangalian M. Balindong, Maliha Kandao, Abdulwa Gayak, Abdulwa Hasim, Abdulwa Makapaar, Said C. Zalindab, Benjamin T. Loong, Sali O. Salik, Bailing S. Mantawil, Marian M. Arnado, Raisa Jadjuri, Aida Silungan, Ana Tarhata Basman, Siti Ilayha B. Dumama Alba, Ramon Piang Sr., Eddie M. Ali, Kadil M. Sinulinding Jr., Tawakal Mitimbang, Suharto Ismael, Marjani S. Makasalong, Edward Guerra, Obaida Pakasam, Hussein Munoz, Said M. Sheikh, Amrosi Makatanong, Matarol M. Estino, Muhammad Yakub, Lanang T. Ali Jr., Abdurraif Makakua, Suwaib Oranon, Ali B. Sulaiman, Omar Yasir Sisema, and Susana S. Anayatin.
Mr. Speaker, the authors also waive the right to present manifestation or authorship speech. And this is expression of sentiment, except for the invitation that if other members of the parliament want to join, it is open for them to be co-author of this resolution. And we can consider this as a simple resolution.
There's a motion to consider this as a simple resolution. Second, any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby considered as simple and therefore move to the business for the day.
Mr. Speaker, since there is no more under our rules of business for the day, we can now proceed with the period of interpellation and amendments. But since I think there is a consideration that all members can be part of this resolution, and since there are no manifestation that they want to interpellate, may I move to close the period of interpellation,
To waive the period of debate and
Interpellation.
amendments.
interpellation and amendments, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to waive the period of dispense with the period of interpellation and debate and the period of amendments. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, may I now move to approve this resolution?
There is a motion to approve resolution number 50. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. The resolution is approved.
The next incident, Mr. Speaker, is item 10, proposed resolution number 54. May we direct again Secretary General to read the resolution and the authors of this.
The Secretary General is directed to read the proposed resolution, the title, and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 54 entitled "A Resolution Calling for the Suspension of the Plenary Session on the third week of November and fourth week of December 2022, and for the Chief Minister's hour to be scheduled on November 25, 2022. Authors, members of the Parliament, Edward Guerra, Raisa Jadjuri, Ana Tarhata Basman, and Shah Ilayha Bidumama Alba.
Did I hear you right? Scheduled on November 25? This one is 23.
23.
23. What is written here is 23. What is the correct? Check, Jen.
23, Mr. Speaker.
November 23.
Mr. Speaker, again, the author has also manifested that they no longer present any explanation to this resolution, and therefore they're waiving the right to present, and this is considered a simple resolution. Mr. Speaker, may we consider this a simple resolution?
There's a motion to consider this as a simple resolution. Duly seconded. Is there any objection, violent or otherwise? None. Same is hereby approved.
There is no manifestation or even a semblance that there is anybody who wants to debate on the matter and to propose amendment. So I move to dispense with the period of debate in interpellation and the period of amendment.
May I be recognized, Mr.
Mr. Speaker, unless there is an objection.
No.
Are you referring to resolution number 54?
Yes.
I'm waiting for the opening of the period of interpellation and debate.
Please address that to the chair.
Yes, Mr. Speaker,
Deputy
I do not oppose to the manifestation of the deputy majority, but I'm waiting for the opening of the period of interpellation in debate, Mr. Speaker.
That being the case, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw my motion to dispense with the period of interpellation, and we open the
And
period of
move to open.
interpellation.
There's a motion to open the period of interpellation and debate.
May
Duly
we-
seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
May we now
Period of
recognize the Deputy
interpellation and
Speaker.
debate is now open.
We may now recognize the Deputy Speaker Lanang Ali Jr.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The Deputy Speaker Ali Jr. is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, may I be clarified, Mr. Speaker, on the wisdom of this proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think, MP, may we recognize Deputy Floor Leader Raisa Jajuri to answer that question.
The deputy, one of these assistant majority floor leaders recognized. MP Raisa Jajuri, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Floor Leader. Mr. Speaker, the proposed resolution is submitted after the four committees, specifically committees on finance, budget, and management, committee on local government, committee on electoral, on rules, and the committee on accounts met to discuss the schedule of the these different committees in the consideration of the budget for the Parliament, the electoral code, as well as the local government code, Mr. Speaker. And as attached as Annex A is a letter addressed to the members of the Committee on Rules. And in this attachment, we will see the schedule of activities of the different committees. So, Mr. Speaker, we think that the plenary session should give way to the committee level activities, particularly of the Committee on Finance, Budget, and Management and the Committee on Accounts, so that we can conduct public hearings and deliberate on the proposed budget for 2023. Anyway, in November, Mr. Speaker, we will still have 1 week for plenary sessions. And then another week in December, because we're only asking for the suspension of the plenary session in the 3rd week of November and the 4th week of December, meaning there will still be plenary sessions on the 4th week of November and the 3rd week of December, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
From the chair,
may I be
for
clarified?
a while. Clarification from the chair. In other words, this is to give way to the work of the different committees, budget, electoral, and local governance code. Is
Yeah.
that the
Yes.
way I am correct to?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, but specifically, I think for this period, it will be the budget.
Budget.
Because we have prioritized the budget for 2023 over the local governance code and the electoral code.
Understand fully. Otherwise, we'll be operating without a budget law for the ensuing fiscal year. Yes,
Yes, Mr.
please
Speaker, may I
continue.
again be clarified on the 4th week of December 2022, because yes, it has been a practice by this august body in the previous BTA, Mr. Speaker, that we schedule the session in December on the 2nd and 3rd week as written in the proposed resolution 265. Naka-schedule po sa 2nd week at 3rd week ang December, para yung last week ay para sa pagbabakasyon na po ng mga MPs. And in the last 3 years, Mr. Speaker, yung last week ng December ay minsan tumatawag lang tayo diyan ng special session kung kinakailangan. In fact, yung nag-approve tayo ng budget last year ay nangyari yan as special session on the last week of December. Maliwanag po dito sa resolution number 265 yung resolution adopting the calendar of session for the first regular session of the second parliament dated September 20, 2022. Ang ating session sa December ay December 12 to 15 and December 19 to 22. Wala pong nakalagay na fourth week para sa December at ito ay nakalaan lang kung kinakailangan at kung merong special session. Yun po yung clarificatory question ko, Mr. Speaker, kung bakit nilagay pa yung fourth week of December 2022.
In other words, from the chair, the schedule of activities as we were furnished a copy includes up to the last day of December 22 only.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And it does not cover the fourth week.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any change or no change at all? Majority Leader,
Yeah, yes, Mr.
do
Speaker.
you want me to call for a 1-minute suspension?
No, no, Mr. Speaker, I think we can
Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, as provided in the attached letter, the December 12 to 15 sessions, we propose to continue to conduct these plenary sessions. And that may be the second, what is supposed to be the third week, no? But actually, it's in the second week. And then the
Second week of
December, Mr. Speaker.
December.
So that will proceed, Mr. Speaker. The sessions that are supposed to be conducted on December 19 to 22, that is the one we want to suspend.
Okay.
Considering that there will be committee meetings, public consultations in Maguindanao, Lanao del Sur, SGA, and Cotabato City. So we
Okay.
are mistaken in the sense that we mentioned the fourth week, but it is actually the third week,
19 to 22.
19 to 22,
It
Mr.
will
Speaker.
continue.
Yes, sir. So the schedule for December is not as provided in the schedule calendar of activities that is part of the resolution of the plenary. Only mentions the second and the third week. So now we would like to, considering the manifestation of the Deputy Speaker Lanang Ali Jr., we'd like to make a correction on our proposed resolution to say that that the third week of December
Of November.
shall be suspended to give way to the committee activities for the priority legislative measures.
Third week of December,
Third week, because the 2 weeks.
not the fourth week.
Yes, there is no mention of sessions for the fourth week, Mr. Speaker. So there's nothing to suspend.
Okay.
Clarified, Mr. Speaker. There will be no other.
Further clarification,
No other
Deputy
further-
Speaker?
No,
Already clarified.
Yes,
To
Mr.
your heart's content.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, there is.
Yes, thank you very much.
The gentleman
Deputy
from
Speaker.
Suluid Tawi-Tawi, MP Mawalil, has some clarificatory question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr.
Yes,
Speaker,
nice
Amir Mawalil, MP, is recognized.
thank you, Mr.
Please
Speaker.
proceed.
For the record, Mr. Speaker, I do not oppose the resolution. I would just like to be clarified. I am not yet familiar with the new rules, but it used to be the tradition is that in the past, the one who's canceling or postponing or suspending the session is the Speaker of the Parliament. I understand. I cannot remember an instance where there was a resolution suspending a certain session date. So I'd like to be enlightened if what does the new rules say about suspension of plenary session? Will this be a new practice that every time that we're going to suspend a particular session date,
You need a
we will
resolution.
going to approve it in plenary via a resolution?
Session suspended for 1 minute. session is now resumed.
Mr. Speaker, after a brief caucus among the leaders of the parliament, there is an agreement to withdraw this resolution with the agreement that the Committee on Rule Chair will communicate to the Speaker so that the Speaker will immediately approve the recommendation so that we can suspend the calendared plenary session. That is the
This-
agreement.
Did I get it correctly that the
I-
Committee on Rules will communicate with the Office of the Speaker as to the dates of sessions, postponement
suspended.
of session, and the Speaker will issue the corresponding memorandum?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is, if my memory serves me right in the discussion, that is agreed.
There is a motion to, in other words, the resolution is
Withdrawn.
withdrawn.
We move to withdraw the resolution with. that
There is a
understanding.
motion to withdraw the resolution. There duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is approved. Further resolution for the Committee on Rules, Majority Leader, to submit the proposed dates
The
of the postponement of session.
as agreed, the Committee on Rules will submit a communication to the Speaker.
And
And
the
the Speaker
Speaker
will issue the appropriate
The corresponding
memorandum. Yes.
there's a motion there is now an understanding that the Committee on Rules will submit for the proposed date of suspension of sessions to involve several committees, give way for the postponement. And the Speaker is expected to issue the memorandum relating to it. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, we proceed with the next resolution. Resolution number 55. So may we direct the Secretary General to read that resolution and the principal.
The Secretary General is directed to read proposed resolution 55, the title and the author.
Proposed resolution number 55 entitled "A Resolution Calling for the Suspension of the Plenary Session in October 2022, except for the session on October 17, 2022, to give way to the committee activities for priority legislative measures." Author, Member of the Parliament, Shah Ilaiha B. Dumama Alba.
Mr. Speaker, I think the same, this is the manifestations been weighed, and this is similarly situated with the past resolution. And I think this can be covered with the same agreement as discussed earlier.
As earlier discussed.
So we move to withdraw this resolution.
Withdraw the resolution and already withdraw the resolution.
Yes, with the understanding that the chairman of the Committee of Rules will communicate with the chair, with the speaker.
Okay, there's a motion to withdraw the proposed resolution as understood in our discussion. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
We go to incident number 12, Mr. Speaker, the reading of the resolution number 60. May we direct again the Secretary General. Read
The
resolution. and the
Secretary
law.
General is directed to read the next proposed resolution, the title and the author.
Proposed resolution number 60 entitled "Resolution Condemning the Brutal Killing of Former Barangay Chairman of Dalican, Dato Udin Sinsuat, Dato Jamail Kyo Sinsuat Sr., and calling on the National Bureau of Investigation to immediately conduct an independent and impartial investigation to bring the perpetrators and the mastermind to the bar of justice." Author, Member of the Parliament, Muhajer M. Iqbal.
Co-authors, marami.
Co-authors, members of the Parliament, Ahmad Abbas, Harun Abbas, Basit Abbas, Mujib Abu, Mosbiri Alauddin, Ibrahim Ali, Dan Asnawi, Pangalian Balindong, Bay Maliha Kandao, Abdullah Gayak, Abdullah Hasim, Abdullah Makapaar, Said C. Salenda, Benjamin T. Luong, Said Salik, Ali O. Salik, Bailing Mantawil, Marian Arnado, Raisa Jajuri, Aida Silungan, Ana Tarhata Basman, Shah Ilaiha Dumama Alba, Ramon Piang Sr., Eddie M. Ali, Kadel Sinulinding Jr., Tawakal Mitimbang, Suharto S. Ismail, Marjani Magasalong, Edward Guerra, Omaida Pakasam, Hussein Munoz, Said M. Sheikh, Amrosi Makatanong, Matarol Estino, Muhammad Yaqub, Lanang T. Ali Jr., Abdurrauf Makakua, Suwaid Uranon, Ali B. Sulaiman, Omaria Sirsema, and Susana S. Anayatin.
Mr. Speaker, with the waiver of the right to present manifestation and sponsored speech, I now move to refer this resolution to the Committee on Peace, Order, and Safety.
There's
Public
a
order,
motion to
safety.
refer this to the Committee on Peace, Order, and Security.
Safety, public order, and
Safety.
safety.
Safety. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Said resolution is referred to that committee.
Mr. Speaker, the next incident is incident 13, proposed resolution number 63. May we direct the Secretary General to read the resolution and the author?
The Secretary General is directed to read the proposed resolution, title, and author.
The proposed resolution number 63 entitled Resolution Adopting National Proclamation number 1906 and Proclamation number 486 declaring month of October as Regional Indigenous Peoples Month and declaring October 29 as Regional Indigenous Peoples Thanksgiving Day in the BARM. Author, Member of the Parliament, Roelyn Mendoza.
The author also waived his right to present manifestation and authorship speech. And since this is
Please,
Since
direct
this-
your con to the microphone. Nawawala.
the author also waived his right to state the manifestation and introduce his resolution. So we move to consider this as a simple resolution.
There's a
With-
motion to consider this proposed resolution a simple resolution. Duly seconded. Do I hear any objection? Is that an objection?
With no,
Interpellation.
yes, we will open now, Mr. Speaker, the period of.
We
debate
now
and
open
interpellation.
the period
May
of
we recognize
interpellation.
the lady
Pukpukin ko muna, that simple resolution na siya.
Okay, okay. Thank you. May we recognize the gentle lady from Maguindanao,
Mabilis tayo masyado.
Bayintan.
We recognize the lady from Maguindanao, Baintan, Ampatuan. Please proceed.
And request
Madam.
the author to stand here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the good author accept some clarificatory questions?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, the resolution talks about three things. One is the adoption of a national declaration. Second is declaration of month of October. And third is another declaration, October 29 as Regional Indigenous Peoples Thanksgiving Day in the BARM. Am I right in the assumption that the resolution has three subject matters?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And based on the new rules, are we allowing three subject matters in a resolution?
Mr. Speaker, I think
The acting floor leader is
I think
recognized.
while the rules clearly say that we only have one subject matter in any resolution, but the reading of the resolution and this resolution, that all the three are germane to one another. One is the recognition of the date, and the other one was in taking it as adopting it for ourselves as the same Indigenous Peoples Day and a Thanksgiving. So I think everything is germane to the declaration of that day as an Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. So I think there is only one subject matter. That is our view, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for that clarification coming from the father of the BOL, Attorney Joe Lorena.
Isa lang sa tatay yan.
Isa lang.
My next clarificatory question, Mr. Speaker, is the use of the word adopting, Mr. Speaker. The proclamation number 1906 and number 486. Does this connotes that we have the option not to adopt a national policy or national declaration? Do we have the option not to adopt any national policy, Mr. Speaker?
The author may answer.
Mr. Speaker,
In other words, pwede ba tayong umayaw diyan sa proclamation na yan? Yan po ang ibig niya sabihin.
sa aking palagay, Mr. Speaker, dapat i-allow natin yon dahil alalahanin natin yung merong mga katutubong pamayanan sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao at yung batas na nagsasaklaw doon sa mga ginagawa nila o ginaganap nila ng mga pag-celebrate ng buwan ng Oktubre ay yung national law pa rin. So mas mapatingkad at mas mapalakas pa natin na merong regional law na talagang ay na siyang nagsasaklaw doon sa mga katutubo para mas kilalanin yung kanilang karapatan noong mga declaration na ito, Mr. Speaker.
But this one is a resolution, not a law.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, this is not a law. This is a resolution. This is a matter of policy and an expression of interest, Mr. Speaker. Again, my question is not answered, Mr. Speaker. My question is, are we in the position not to accept any national policy, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, noong kinakraft natin yung Bangsamoro Organic Law, we haven't done that cast in stone. Ang sinasabi niya, dapat yung Bangsamoro Organic Law ay tumatalima doon sa mga existing law at national law na meron na tayo. Katunayan, Mr. Speaker, noong binabalangkas yung mga batas na may kinalaman sa amin bilang katutubong pamayanan, ay laging sinasabi na within the frame of the Constitution. So, ang declaration na ito ay isang nasyonal na nagkumikilala doon sa mga katutubong pamayanan, marapat lamang siguro na sa rehiyon ng BARM ay merong pagtalima din doon sa mga batas na kumikilala doon sa karapatan ng mga katutubo at kasama yung mga katutubo sa BARM.
Madam Baintan.
Again, Mr. Speaker,
Can you
ibahin ko yung tanong, Mr. Speaker. Kung wala ba itong resolution na ito, wala tayong Indigenous Peoples Day at celebration ng Indigenous Peoples Month?
Mr. Speaker, ang nangyari po kasi
Dahil hindi tayo
ngayon,
nasasakop ng proclamation na yan.
Mr. Speaker, yung practice po kasi ngayon dahil ito ay national law, kaya nga yung proclamation na yan ay national. Yung mga katutubo dito sa BARM, kahit wala pang klarong regional law na kumikilala sa kanila, ay yung national law yung kanilang ginagamit. At noong naging ganap na proclamation na nga ito, yun yung pag-umpisa din na yung Oktubre ay napakahalaga doon sa mga katutubo sa BARM. Katunayan, yung nangyaring Mindanao Summit na ipinatawag ng Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Mr. Speaker, ay may kinalaman doon sa October, no? Itong buwan ng Oktubre
opinion?
na ginagalang ng mga katutubo para yung mga cultural na ginagawa nila sa buwan ng Oktubre ay kanilang ma-exercise. At katunayan, Mr. Speaker, sa October 29, ang aking tanggapan ay magpapagawa rin ng magpatawag ng mga katutubo sa BARM para i-celebrate ang National IP Thanksgiving Day tuwing October 29. At hindi naman yata maganda na pagdating sa rehiyon ay hindi siya klarong kilala. Kaya nagpasya po ako, Mr. Speaker, na magpasa ng resolution na ito para i-adapt yung National Proclamation. Yung unang proclamation na ang buwan ng Oktubre bilang IP month at yung October 29 na Indigenous Peoples Thanksgiving Day sa BARM.
Yeah, walang volume.
I move to suspend the session for
Few
1 minute.
minutes
Yes.
for
So,
you to confer.
For me to compare
Please
with
confer
what-
with each other. Mukhang may kalituhan. Session suspended.
Papasa nating policies or resolution dito
Tama.
ay malinaw sa ating lahat kung ano yung exactly what do you mean when we say this particular resolution. So hindi po ako anti-IP. Yeah, that's for sure, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With that manifestation, which is part of
Duly
the record,
noted.
we now move to terminate the period of interpellation.
Mr. Speaker, there is a gentleman who's raising his hand, Attorney
May
Bong
recognize.
Parcasio.
Mr. Speaker,
What is the pleasure of the gentleman?
Mr. Speaker,
Meron pa Alibabaw and DS
May recognize
Attorney
gentleman
Bong
from
Parcasio is
and because
Siya
he
muna.
first stated, then we will recognize by
your
brother
leader who will
MP
we recognize
Parcasio.
first.
First, we recognize MP Alibabaw, then MP Parcasio, Mr. Speaker. In that order.
Alibabao is recognized and then to be followed by MP Parcasio and to be followed by DS Lanang Ali Jr. Make your queries short.
Mr.
Proceed.
Speaker, thank you very much. This is, I just want to ask a very important question pertaining to resolution number 63. Resolution, the proclamation number 906 and 486 is a national law. There's no doubt it's a national law. Now, my question, Mr. Speaker, is that failure of BTA Parliament to pass a resolution adopting this measure, shall it become moot and academic, or can we not enforce this precedence? This law of national national laws. Presidential Proclamation number 906 and 486 are national laws. So if the question is, ulitin ko, suppose we do not pass a resolution pertaining to this declaration, hindi ba ma-enforce yung law? Is yung national law? I think even without the resolution adopting this, still, this is recognized under our Philippine laws. This can be enforceable even in the absence of a resolution. Thank you very much, Mr.
The floor leader may answer.
Mr. Speaker, even without calling the author, I think all national law and policy are enforceable in our region. So even without that,
With or without you.
with or without it.
So it is my contention now that there's no need for us to pass this resolution.
May-
If this is enforceable nationwide, more so in our region, so I think there's no need for this resolution to
Mr.
adopt this proclamation. Kasi enforceable na pala eh.
Mr. Speaker, that's the very reason that we suspended the session to discuss possible language. Because the idea of the proponent is just to highlight. So an expression of highlighting can be done by any, even local government units. That is why in the caucus, I hope we agreed that the gentlewoman from Maguindanao, the period of amendment, will introduce amendment to the title. So that we will meet both sides, meaning the expression of recognizing an expression of
Focus your
can be done.
can through the loudspeaker,
Can be done,
please.
Mr. Speaker. So I hope I have answered the question. So may we now recognize? Thank you.
Yes,
May
Mr.
we now
Are you
recognize?
satisfied, gentleman from Lanao del Sur?
No, what I'm saying is if we are going to follow the argument of the majority floor leader, instead of using the word adopting, maybe you can use the word recognizing,
No, the amendment it will come the period
coming
of
from his
amendment.
words, that we should recognize it. So
Mr.
instead of using the word adopting, because we are creating here another measure. So all we have to do is just recognize that particular law, Presidential Proclamation number 1906 and 486.
Mr. Speaker, I already stated that it will be covered in the amendment during the period of amendment. So I have just answered the question on the.
If you have further suggestion to improve, that can come at the proper time, the period of amendments. You can stand up again and request for recognition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
May we recognize MP?
Bong Parcasio and then
Ano pa kasi, may admin-
the deputy speaker first.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Age giving way.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I have just a manifestation, Mr. Speaker. And
Yes.
I will
Please
propose
proceed.
in the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, upon reading the proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker, the framing, Mr. Speaker, I am allergic to read national, regional, because ang interpretation ko, Mr. Speaker, dyan ay parang yung national government ay ang relationship natin ay parang regional yung para bang nangyari is administrative region tayo, no? Bakit hindi na lang tayo ang celebrate ng sarili nating Bangsamoro, non-Moro Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Day? Ang mag-implement ay ang Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs at tayo ang pipili kung anong araw ang gusto nating gawin. Because pag ganito ang frame natin, Mr. Speaker, ay parang sa tingin ko ay nalilesen yung ating autonomy. No? I'm worried, Mr. Speaker. So sana ma-emphasize dito sa resolution na ito na hindi national government ang mag-implement ng Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Day natin, kundi ang BARM through the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, tayo magde-decide and then tayo ang mag-celebrate dito. Sana dito sa resolution na to, Mr. Speaker, ay ma-mention din yung MIPA para mag-implement at mag-celebrate itong Indigenous Peoples. Dahil ito yung essence ng ating Bangsamoro Organic Law na maging genuinely and meaningful autonomy. Yun lang po, Mr.
Thank you,
Speaker.
Mr. Speaker. I think that
The manifestation is duly
Yes,
noted.
that
Floor
manifest-
leader,
Mr. Speaker, we will proceed with, we
Mr.
have
Chairman,
recognized
Mr.
MP
Speaker.
Parcasio earlier, so we can proceed before I close the period of interpellation.
MP Rodolfo Parcasio is recognized. Bong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think once and for all, we have to settle this nomenclature, indigenous peoples. I know there are two schools of thought in our homeland about who are the indigenous peoples. I firmly believe in the concept of the indigenous peoples as defined in the United Nations Declarations of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Following the concept in that United Nations declarations, we, the Tausug, the Maranaos, the Magindanaos, the Tirurais, the Badjaos, and all those who are native inhabitants in the Bangsamoro homeland are indigenous peoples. So when we declare any day as Indigenous Peoples Day or Indigenous Peoples Month, I would believe that it is a celebration of all peoples in the Bangsamoro homeland because we are indigenous peoples. Are we not? This matter should be settled once we discuss the crafting of a law on indigenous peoples. I would
Reminder po, bawal mag-clap while session is ongoing.
Mr. Speaker, without being, with all due respect to my brother, I think the Chief Minister has also submitted a proposed Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. We can discuss thoroughly
yes,
the matter of that. So,
yes,
but in
Mr.
the meantime,
Speaker, may I just be allowed to
yes,
finish?
so, okay.
The
I just
gentleman may
want this to
continue.
be put on record that your colleague, a fellow member, have registered this sentiment, this idea, this comprehension, this principle that we are all indigenous peoples in the Bangsamoro homeland. Thank you.
Thank you. Perhaps in the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act for the region, we can discuss that thoroughly. Anyway,
The manifestation is, I take that as manifestation, and that is duly noted.
Mr. Speaker, I see no other to interpolate, so may move to close the period of interpellation. Mr.
The
Speaker.
period, there is a motion to close the period of interpellation and debate. Do I hear any second? Duly seconded. Do I hear any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker,
Next.
may I now move to open the period of amendment?
We now, there's a motion to open the period of amendments. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
I may recognize the gentle lady from Maguindanao.
The lady from Maguindanao is recognized, Bayintan ng Patuan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have proposed amendment, but I have second thought on this proposal, Mr. Speaker, because the the proposed title of amendment may not be enforceable through a resolution. It may be enforceable through a law. The proposed wording, based on the wording of the original author, Mr. Speaker, is that a resolution declaring the month of October as Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Month,
Whole month, hindi lang the month, the whole month of October.
October as Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Month, and declaring October 29 as Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Thanksgiving Day in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, pursuant to national and international laws. But again, Mr. Speaker, my reservation is declaration might be in the form of a bill or a law and not by a resolution. So that's my reservation. But my amendment is just based on what is on the table, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
Duly noted.
may I
Um,
be given some time, Mr. Speaker,
to
to comment on the proposed amendment of
the lady from.
the lady
What is
from
the
Maguindanao.
pleasure of the Deputy Speaker, Omar
Mr.
Sema?
Speaker, we have heard a lot a while ago that at some point in time, we must exercise our autonomy, our political autonomy. Republic Act 11054 has given us that much leeway on which days, what months we can celebrate important occasions, such as the Indigenous Peoples Month. While there is now there are existing laws that existing national laws that declared, for instance, October as a National Indigenous Peoples Month. I think as an autonomous region, we should have our own in the exercise of our political autonomy. While we recognize that there are other, that we have our brothers and sisters who are truly indigenous also, like us, as stated by the esteemed brother attorney Parcasio. It is on that context that we should have our own. And I think it's too premature for us to declare October as that month. We may find our commonalities with our brothers and sisters, indigenous, the other indigenous peoples. We can find common time, common day to which we can declare Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Month, Bangsamoro Indigenous Peoples Day. And it is in that context that may I ask the lady from Maguindanao to just put on the table her proposed amendment, and may I suggest that we refer this resolution to the Committee on Rules so that we can further study this, Mr. Presiding Officer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Committee on Rules pa or Committee on Indigenous People?
The Committee on Rules, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we are in the period of amendment while we recognize the manifestation, the gentleman.
The
But-
manifestation of the Deputy Speaker is duly noted.
May we allow the gentle lady from Maguindanao to continue the amendments so that we can complete the period?
The
And-
lady from Maguindanao has expressed earlier that she has a reservation. So are you still willing to proceed with availing of the period of amendments?
Actually, Mr. Speaker, if there are no legal issues, because this is just a resolution, Mr. Speaker, and I'm thinking actually if it's a declaration, it should come in the form of a law.
Correct.
So, and besides, Mr. Speaker, it has to undergo a process. It has to undergo a consultation whether the month of October should be the month that we need to celebrate, because there are various histories that are attached to a particular day or month that we need to celebrate, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I am inclined actually of withdrawing my amendment. My amendment was just only driven by the proposal, but looking at the deeper context of the particular issue, I think this needs deeper discussions and deeper research on what really needs to be done once we decide to declare a particular Indigenous Peoples Month. Thank you very much,
Thank-
Mr. Speaker.
Floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, since the gentle lady of Maguindanao, although intimating to amend, has reservation, I think with the complication of the nature of the resolution and the language to be propounded, I move that we withdraw our ruling that this be a simple resolution and refer the matter to MIPA, so that a thorough discussion on the matter can be done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the committee.
The
of Rules.
earlier manifestation, floor leader, the earlier manifestation of the deputy speaker is to refer this not to the MIPA, but to the Committee on Rules.
So may I, Mr. Speaker, I would move that it be referred to both the rules and the MIPA, because MIPA has been given the jurisdiction to look on indigenous peoples.
Okay.
And
Committee, not the ministry.
not the Committee
Committee on Indigenous People,
Peoples, right,
MIP.
Yes, because the
Miss-
Committee on Rules determines only whether there is cloud as to whose committee has jurisdiction.
Point of inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
But,
Mr. Speaker.
What is the pleasure of the gentleman from Lanao, the deputy speaker and minister of transportation and communication?
Yeah, with the indulgence of my fellow MP, tatanong si MP Mawalol, but I have a question bothering in my mind.
What's the
This is only a simple, for me, this is only a simple resolution reiterating the proclamation numbers. The proclamation that there is, on this date, there is an indigenous month. So sa aking pananaw, Mr. Speaker, this resolution is not a contentious issues because there is already a resolution. Ayaw ko lang, hindi ko alam ang laman ng proclamation number 1906 at saka proclamation number 486. Pero is an reiteration of a national proclamation on the policies of the rights of the indigenous peoples. Oh, so yun lang. So sa akin, this is not a contentious issue na bakit pa natin i-refer sa Committee on Indigenous Peoples or to the Committee on Rules. This is, for me, kaya nga natin dineclare ito, simple resolution because it is very simple. Umaba lang yung istorya doon. So, kaya nagkaganon ng... Kasi there's already a proclamation. The purpose of this resolution is to reiterate. We remind us in the BARM that there is a resolution, there is a proclamation, and that proclamation, there is an Indigenous Peoples Month for the month of October. Period. Yun lang ang resolution nito. And that's my little knowledge about this resolution, Mr. Speaker. So there's no need to refer it to the committee, Mr.
Ask them
Speaker.
if they will agree to the little knowledge
Mr. Speaker.
of the deputy speaker. The Assistant Floor Leader, Marian
Recognized.
Arnado is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to support the view of Deputy Speaker Tago that this is really a simple resolution. Whether the Parliament does anything on the issue or not, the indigenous peoples in the BARM are already celebrating October as the month of peace. The Matigsal, the Arumanon Manobo, the Tiduray, the Higaunon, the Dulangan Manobo, as of now, they are already celebrating this in the many areas of the indigenous peoples here. So it's actually the Parliament who is just catching up with this. So so for me, it's really just a simple resolution expressing our solidarity to the celebration of the indigenous peoples, which is now happening in October. So thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Manifestation is duly
Mr.
noted.
Speaker.
What is the pleasure of the gentleman from Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, and Basilan?
Thank you, Mr.
Amir
Speaker.
Mawalil.
Mr. Speaker, inquiry lang dun sa process because I think yung new rules is pag binasa yung resolution, a particular resolution, when we identify it as a simple resolution, diretso tayo to discuss it and approve it or otherwise. My earlier resolution did that was treated as a simple resolution but was in the middle of the discussion was referred to the committees. My impression of the new rules, Mr. Speaker, is that we act on a particular resolution, a simple resolution in the plenary. The only choice that we can do is to either approve or reject the resolution. So I would like a clarification on this issue, Mr. Speaker. Bakit natin nire-refer ulit sa committee where in fact we already identified the resolution as a simple resolution? I think that was the impression why we amended this part of the rules, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
The floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, admittedly, why I was trying the rules, but rules are provided. However, in the
Pakiano
declaration,
lang yung
declaration
loudspeaker.
of simple and referral, you have to determine the issues within the resolution. In the course of the deliberation, when in the course of the interpolation, you find that there are complex issues that need further study, you can withdraw a simple resolution. It is no hard pass rule because the resolution is adopted by the Parliament. And if the Parliament changes it on that day, that can be changed. So that is the true spirit of the rules.
Of a resolution.
So of resolution. So when you first determine resolution as simple and complex without the introduction or manifestation, it is not clear whether there are profound legal, factual issues that will surround that resolution. But in the course of the interpolation, there will be a determination of more complex issues. And therefore, it is within the discretion of the floor leader to determine that in order not to prolong the deliberation in the floor, to refer it to the committee so that the committee work can facilitate the discussion of the deliberation. That is the essence of the rule.
On
Mr. Speaker.
the issue brought
On the issue.
about in the deliberation.
Then I am now clarified for as long as we have set the record straight and that I think the new rules is also similar to the previous one that we practiced for the last 3 years. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr.
Thank
Speaker,
you.
we will
Amin.
just allow the proponent because he is manifesting something so that we can conclude. because,
Ano muna si Deputy Speaker Abdul Karim.
Deputy
Miswari
Speaker,
first.
may we recognize the gentleman from Sulu, Mr. Speaker?
The gentleman from Sulu, Cars Miswari is recognized. Naka-open na ba yung ano mo?
Open na po. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Thumma amma ba'd. First of all, it may seem simple resolution, but nothing here is simple. Lahat yung ginagawa natin dito is simple kasi determining to lahat. Pangalawa, ayaw naman namin ma-feel as if we are against our non-Muslim brothers. Hindi, we have nothing against. Which month with the even Deputy Speaker Sema has no issue with that. Pero we are missing the point po dito. The point is yung term indigenous peoples. Sino po sila? That's a terminology that needs a definition. So kung alimbawa, ang ibig sabihin ng indigenous peoples are yung mga brothers lang natin katutubo at mga iba pang tribo dyan, ang tanong ko po namin, taga saan po kami mga Tausug, Sama, Maranao, taga saan po kami kung hindi kami indigenous? Yun lang. Yung sa tingin ko, better than using indigenous people referring to non-Muslim tribes, mga Bangsamoro non-Muslim tribes in the BARM. Kasi tayo po lahat ay indigenous. Yan ang point of view namin. Wallahu
Mr.
alam.
Speaker,
Salamat, Deputy Speaker. Wala kang volume.
Speaker, we have exhaustively discussed the matter, and I think there are points, perspectives from both sides. But I think in order not to hold us on this issue, I would just allow first the author to manifest something because he was saying that his feelings that this be.
I hope the manifestation will lead us to a conclusion of the
Yes,
discussion because
yes, Mr.
its
Speaker.
time check is 5:05.
Yes, may we recognize Froilan, our
The author, MP Froilan Mendoza, is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, marami pong salamat. Hindi ko akalain, Mr. Speaker, ang isang simple resolution na patungkol sa mga katutubong pamayanan sa BARM ay isa pala siya sa pinakahihintay ng lahat at kailangang busisiin ng maigi. Pero ang pinaka-intention lang po sana ng resolution na iyan ay upang bigyan ng pagalang yung mga katutubo sa BARM. Pangalawa, Mr. Speaker, yung usapin ng identity, hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin siya malinaw. At merong tamang proseso kung saan siya tatalakayin. Pag tinalakay na natin yung Cabinet Bill number 40 at ito yung IP code. Dahil doon natin isasalaysay, ipapaliwanag at bigyan ng tamang lengguwahe yung mga nomenclature na naandyan ngayon sa draft IP code. Mayroong 3 identity na nailagay dyan, yung Bangsamoro IP, yung indigenous peoples at non-Moro indigenous peoples. Kaya ayaw ko nang palawigin pa dahil merong isang committee na kung saan yung gustong lumahok para bigyan ng linaw yung lahat ng mga katanungan na may kinalaman sa resolution ito ay maaaring mas mahuhusay pa natin pag tinalakay na natin yung IP code. Pero ang sinasabi ko lang, Mr. Speaker, parang isa siyang temporary relief mechanism nga na meron lang sanang habang wala pa yung mga mahalagang code na kumikilala doon sa mga indigenous people, ay may mga temporary relief mechanism tayo na siyang magre-recognize doon sa mga katutubo sa BARM. At pag sinasabi natin katutubo, katulad nung sabi ng ilan kanina ay sino ba yung indigenous people, ay mas maaring matatalaka yun dahil bibigyang linaw yun nung ating draft IP code na yun para hindi na siya tumagal, Mr. Speaker. At yung resolution na ito ay hinihiling ko sana ay mabigyan rin ng linaw habang wala pa yung mga mahalagang batas, lalo na yung IP code ay na hinihintay rin ng mga katutubo ay magkakaroon ng recognition doon sa ginagawa na nilang pagsasama doon sa ating national antas. Wala siyang intention ng yung ibang tribo dahil nga yung ating Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, malinaw naman yung sinasabi niyang sino yung mga indigenous peoples na iyon. Pero syempre sa konteksto ng Bangsamoro, dahil may iba-ibang mga tao, kailangang mas mabigyan siguro ng pagkakataon na talagang malinaw yung ating IP code para nang sa ganoon ay hindi nagkakabulbol, hindi nagkakagulo-gulo at kung para kanino ba ang karapatan na ito, kailangang malinawan yung usapin ng identity. Ayun na lang po, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, with that manifestation, I move that we refer this to the Committee on Indigenous Peoples.
There's a motion to refer the proposed resolution to the Committee on Indigenous People. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next incident is actually the reading of resolution number.
Jojo, i-focus mo lang
The
bibig
number
sa
resolution.
loudspeaker.
Resolution number 64, Mr. Speaker. May we direct the Secretary General to read the resolution and the authors?
The Secretary General is directed to read the next proposed resolution, the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 64 entitled "A Resolution Directing the Committee on Public Order and Safety, CPOS, to conduct a parliamentary inquiry in aid of legislation into the series of killings and alarming state of public order and safety, particularly in the province of Maguindanao, the municipality of Pikit, and the special geographic area." Author, Member of the Parliament, Hussein P. Munoz. Co-authors, Members of the Parliament, Ahud B. Ibrahim, Pangalian M. Balindong, Abdurrauf A. Makakua, Muhajir M. Iqbal, Ahmad I. Abbas, Harun M. Abbas, Basit M. Abbas, Mujib Z. Abu, Musbir E. Alauddin, Ibrahim D. Ali, Dan S. Asnawi, Bay Maleha B. Kandaw, Abdullah E. Gayak, Abdullah B. Hasim, Abdullah G. Makapaar, Said C. Salendab, Benjamin T. Luong, Ali O. Salik, Baileng S. Mantawil, Mary Ann M. Arnado, Raisa H. Jajuri, Aida M. Silungan, Anna Tarhata S. Basman, Shia Ilaiha B. Dumama Alba, Ramon E. Piang Sr., Eddie M. Ali,
Amir.
Kadel M. Sinulinding Jr., Tawakkal B. Nitimbang, Suharto S. Ismael, Marjani S. Makasalong, Edward U. Guerra, Obayda C. Pakasam, Said M. Sheikh, Amrosi M. Makatanong, Matarol M. Estino, Muhammad S. Yaqub, Lanang T. Ali Jr., Suhaib L. Oranon, and Ali B. Sulaiman.
Mr. Speaker, this is a resolution to direct our committee. And considering the need to expedite the work of the committee, may I move that this be considered a simple resolution.
The motion is to convert this into a simple resolution.
Yes.
There's a motion to treat this as a simple resolution. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, the authors waive the
Mr.
right
Speaker.
to manifest. And therefore, we can now proceed to the period of interpellation if there are any. But
Mr. Speaker,
may we recognize
The
Do-
Deputy Speaker
Deputy
Omar
with the
Esma is
permission of the,
recognized.
with the
Before
permission of
we
the
rule-
floor leader,
Before we rule
before we
Yeah.
rule.
on the motion to open the period of interpellation.
with the permission of the floor leader, though it is not stated in the title of the resolution, Mr. Speaker, we can really sense that the urgency of this resolution because of the series of events that have taken place in Pikit North, Cotabato, and in the special geographic area. I therefore move, Mr. Speaker, that this resolution be approved without debates and further amendments and only subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
But it's the pleasure of the floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, first we have already approved this as a simple resolution. And since there are no body who intend to interpolate and even to propose amendment, except for the statement that it will be subjected to style for the grammar and everything, then we can move to suspend the period of interpolation.
The motion earlier stated was to consider this as a simple resolution.
Dispense with
And dispense with the period of interpellation and debate and the period of amendments. There any second? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
with that, Mr. Speaker, may I move to approve this subject to style.
There is a motion to approve this resolution subject to style. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, may I move to suspend for 1 minute to compare with the speaker because I heard that the speaker has something to say. Thank you.
Session suspended for a few minutes. Ano ba to?
Ha? Dito na. Ito na ako na. Tagal dito ako. Dito ako pinanganak eh. So, tapos na. Tapos na.
Leader. Session resume.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are now on bills on second reading. And the first bill under this item is BTA Parliament Bill number 40. May we direct the Secretary General to read this so that I can call the sponsor?
The
Yes,
Secretary General is directed to read BTA Parliament number 40, the title and author. It's a bill on second reading. Parliamentary status.
BTA Parliament Bill number 40 entitled An Act Declaring May 2 of every year as Battle of Bayang Day in commemoration of the heroic sacrifices made by the Sultan of Bayang and his people against the atrocities committed by the American Expeditionary Forces. Author, Government of the Day.
Mr. Speaker, MP Makasalong will deliver a brief manifestation, Mr. Speaker.
Mr.
May we recognize MP Makasalong, Mr. Speaker?
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur, the young MP, Marjane Makasalong, Bangsamoro Youth Commission. May we ask everybody to please observe proper and due decorum. We are still in session, gentlemen. Hello? Hello? Ako rin, gusto ko na rin umuwi. Hello? Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Yung sinasabi mo na yang 10 years ago na ho yun. A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa bihi nasta'in wa alayhi natawakkal. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika la wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Amma ba'd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
And a very good afternoon pa ba o good evening to everyone. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues in the honorable body, on behalf of the government of the day, I rise to introduce BTA Parliament Bill number 40 entitled An Act Declaring May 2 of every year as Battle of Bayang Day in commemoration of the heroic sacrifices made by the Sultan of Bayang and his people against the atrocities committed by the American Expeditionary Forces. Mr. Speaker, this proposed bill was previously filed by the Member of Parliament, now Congressman Ziaur Rahman Alonto Adyong. But since it was not deliberated upon by this August Assembly, the government of the day, finding the significance of this bill, decides to adopt the same. We thank Congressman Adyong for taking the initiative. Mr. Speaker, allow me to recount history to serve as a brief backgrounder of the present proposed bill. The first and the fiercest battle between the Maranaos and the American Army in the Philippines took place on May 2 of 1902 when the American Expeditionary Forces attacked Kota Pandapatan in the municipality of Bayang, province of Lanao del Sur. This battle is locally known as Padang Karbala. Even if placed at disadvantage in terms of weaponry and number, the Sultan of Bayang and his Maranao warriors never surrendered nor trembled in fear. As a result of this battle, hundreds and hundreds of our Maranao warriors, including the Sultan of Bayang, had laid to rest in the battlefield, the field of honor. Though overwhelmed, the legacy of the Padang Karbala represents for the Maranaos the highest moment of courage and strength, a battle collectively waged by the warriors of Islam in Lanao in defense of their homeland and religion against colonial aggression. Maranao warriors along the lake from the municipalities of Binidayan, Bacolod, Pagayawan, Masyo, and other neighboring municipalities fought with the people of Bayang. They fought side by side with their Maranao brothers in Islam. They showed nothing but unity. So, through this bill, we do not only recognize the warriors of Bayang, but we honor the whole of Maranaos of Lanao. For over a century now, the municipality of Bayang has never failed to commemorate the anniversary of the martyrdom of the 300 to 400 Maranao warriors, including the Sultan of Bayang, who died defending Islam and the Bangsamoro identity from the American operation. In view of this, we therefore proposed a bill to place Battle of Bayang Day permanently in the consciousness of the people and remind Bangsamoros of the legacy of their ancestors and to immortalize pivotal local events that help transform the Bangsamoro society in general. This commemoration, Mr. Speaker, shall not only honor the heroes, but shall foster patriotism in our Bangsamoro youth. These heroes will serve as an inspiration for our youth, worthy of emulation. Mr. Speaker, because of the bravery and patriotism of the Sultan of Bayang and his troops in defending their homeland and sacrificing their own lives during this brutal massacre perpetrated by the Americans against the Moros, it is just befitting that we honor their heroism. The declaration of Battle of Bayang Day every second day of May and mandating its meaningful observance will highlight the importance of the past in shaping our current realities. Mr. Speaker, in closing, it is said that unsung heroes are those who do great deeds but receive little or no recognition at all. By passing this legislation, we honor the sacrifices made by our Maranao warriors and pay tribute to their bravery, patriotism, and martyrdom during the Moro-American War. Let these Moro warriors not be part of the unsung heroes. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.
Floor Leader,
Mr. Speaker, may we refer this to the Committee on Rules?
Mr. Speaker.
there is a motion to,
Mr. Speaker,
what is the pleasure?
if you will allow me to say something about this.
This is the
Mr.
second reading first page.
Mr.
Do we allow,
Speaker, there is
we're
only
not
one,
yet in the period of interpellation.
we can wait
gentlemen.
for the period of, we would just first refer this to the Committee on Rules.
It shall be referred first to the Committee on Rules,
Any manifestation can be done in the Committee on
in the
Rules.
Committee on Rules, not here.
Okay, so I withdrew my
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
my desire to say something about this.
Not at this time.
Not at this time. Maybe I will wait
you
for the
can do
time
that.
that
You
this
can-
will be open for
Not yet.
Interpellation.
deliberation, interpellation. Because for the record, Mr. Speaker, I was born in Bayang. I grew up in Bayang. I finished my elementary, high school in Bayang. That's why I'm very much interested in this.
At the
And my
proper time.
At the
my
appropriate time.
grandfather was martyred among the 300, is part of the 300 to 400 martyrs. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker. The next incident.
The proposal, there is a motion to refer this to the Committee on Rules.
Yes.
Rules? Rules, duly seconded. There any objection? Chair here stands, same is hereby approved.
Babasa ko lang. Mr. Speaker, the next bill on second reading is BTA Parliament Bill number 42. But before I will ask the Direct General to read, I have observed that the sponsor is not around, so I move to suspend consideration of this.
There's a motion to suspend BTA bill number, consideration of BTA bill number 42. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, the last bill to be considered is Parliament Bill number 44. May we request and direct the Secretary General to read the bill and its authors.
The Secretary General is directed to read BTA Parliament number 44 and the title and the authors.
BTA Parliament Bill number 44 entitled An Act Creating a Bangsamoro Veteran Mujahideen Mujahidat Affairs Office, defining its basic organizational structure, providing funds therefore and for other purposes. Author, the government of the day.
Mr. Speaker, to represent the government of the day, may we recognize MP Minister Ida Silongan.
MP,
May Ida Silongan, Mr. Speaker.
MP Ida Silongan, Minister,
Minister.
is recognized. Na, mag-grib na. Please proceed. After the call to prayer siguro? May call to prayer ako naririnig.
After the call to
Asan?
prayer, Mr. Speaker.
Cellphone. Sige, proceed. Please proceed.
Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'da. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Tadaman sunalasay at tinumubak kupalaw. Lugudan sunalugat anagati kanudagan. Tadaman sunalasay aminalaw kanusambal. Lugudan sunalugat aminugawan kulalan. Panadaman sulasay. Tadaman sunalasay amin dumalasayan ku inged. Sa kagkapyan maginged. Tadaman sukapatay. Tadaman sumipatay. Anangin patayin ku inged. Sa sabak kanu agama. Taman ku bagagama. Panadaman sumapya tadaman. Sumipya-pya anakagkapya ku inged. Sa ungaya ku maginged. patadam kumaulia tau. Apagagani kuunga upabila ka kuman kadan kuunga no pinamula. Nadi ka po lumimpangi sunamula kanang kayo.
Minda ipikto no kinambunwa siya kano uyag-uyag ko tamang kano pamilya ko na gusto na umana buka saki ikonutan na di ko ng garinyan ang BTA niya kagina gusto na masakit kanu ginawa ko tamang kanu pamilya ko iipikto no kinambuno no sakitan ng mga Bangsamoro uso yan kapantakan sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas. Importante din sa kami ang mga Bangsamoro mujahidin yung makapas sunan bill kapinanguluan o yusod na sa tiyan ang mana si MP Engineer by Aida Silungan nasisita kaddawangan sa kanin sa magan ng mga problema nila. Inshallah kapag nasisita din sa mga usod sa tiyan ang mga mujahidin yanin mga sampo kapag nasisita namin na sa gunawan niya katitimpuan na suskami mga veterans na kadakaman jadi bamagsakiton na sa mga medical assistance nasupod pa na assistance na naisita namin sa mga sasagunawan ng timpo kanihan man hindi kami pagkapalima o gada niya pinaka-importante na adang matatayangad para kami sa kami ang mga veterans bagakatan ko so langon mo BTA member magidyan iso na sakupan o umayalip a BTA yan man na 41 a BTA uruso 39 a BTA member ang makasaid sa government nagbanganin ko sa kano atawa ka banganin namin sa kano sa sabab sa niyadong so gobyerno kano ang nagtalo abam na lukan utukawan tano di kanu magdalo adampan maya majority black atau ka minority black ang isa-isa kanu suportan kanu sumiya abil kagina siya kanu kasuporto kanu niya abil na timbang ayano sinuport na suyintiro ang maging Bangsamoro ang nasakupan ubam na siya kanu kasuporto nga luba mailay itiddo-tiddo asakitan ng mga Bangsamoro na na-unite kanu
Saki si Abu Mansur at Akatuwal na ijan to angin kuanga kanu nata kanu timpo no paganay nanan saki nanata ko pansaki nabidyo ni wale ko kanu timpo no paganay dana samo bagas nani pagtabang sa veteran sa niya na naya mapya na nagtabang sa nairba sa insigira tabang lang ka daran kuana ka ito ba timpo na daran pya agamuan na sa kita ka daran so uyag-uyagin ano timpo nun to bari niya ba timpo na niya pya na tapos hindi nagtabang sa niya ba veteran sa niya.
Usin sa migakadan kutulugan sa limbunan. Nadi ka bulumimpangi suminudsud kanupalaws.
kano Interim Chief Minister Honorable Ahod Alhads Murad Ibrahim, Honorable Speaker Attorney Ali Pangalian Balindong, Deputy Speakers, the Floor Leader Attorney Shia Ilayha Dumama Alba, kano mga taga-padako a member na Parliament, kano mga lokas ko, mga pagari ko a Bangsamoro, mapia malulom sel kanulangon. Nakalabi pat pulo lagun, akinan dulumasayan. Ngibu-ngibuan kano mga Bangsamoro a nasyahid. Na ilo, na balo, aungan no kinambunwa para sa self-determination no magingad a Bangsamoro. Madakal inapagukito kita nul kita no akinan dulumasayan. Madakal inatala tano, nadzumbak tano ang mga batalwan ang nakasakat sa kita no sa kaato ang nakaalin kanudet ang mga timpo ang makakamal kano magingad abang samuro. Mr. Speaker, sa nakalabi pat pulo lagon akinan dulumasayan, madakal din ikinambitialay para sa kalilintad, kinapamagumpong, mga nangapasadan sa pagerta na gobyerno ando sa umpungan. Madakal din inatakawan ang mga ukit, ang makalan kano mga di kapamagayon, ugid na dad success. Sa kanudalo mo puluan lagon ba niya asinumagad, so mga tagapadaan nalasay sa kabaguyag. Nasampay sa guna, nagagadam pa mon, supad sa ano kapasang o kinambunwa. So kinapamikal tano, kano mga nauma at timpo, sa makaadan sa tidto a kamal, a kanapamon nasasangan. So mga nauma a kitaban, ada makaayon kano tidto a singanin, no magingad abang samoro. Sa babsan to, Mr. Speaker, so kinataba no yes, kano kinaplibisito, anad sabapan, no kinatindag no Bangsamoro Transition Authority, ang nakaanggay salkita no sa inam, para sa Bangsamoro. Umeng ka masugat, sa matilak maliwanag, sa makadsaluswa, su kang gobyerno, sa mapya ando malilintad, na antuba i makaanggay salkita no, sa masla alalan, ang makapatindag sa kamal na Bangsamoro, adan sal kanin imaulad a kakawasan, ando kakamal sa usto. Mr. Speaker, lango na mapia ag katamanan tano, na di tano magadam inyaba, o di kinasabap sa kinandulumasayan, kinapagapas-sapas, kinapangimpaten, nando kinapaninindag, no mga mujahidin ando sa mujahidat. Labi-labi din sa mga nasyahid at tidto-tidto aminato sa kinadsabak sa kasampay kano katindag kano singani no magingad abang samoro.
Wabihin nastain. Sa ngaran o dato ami ang kapapantagan, ami aninindigan ko kabnar o Bangsamoro si Chief Minister Ahod B. Ibrahim. Gusto 80 kataw apdakan sa Parliament ang mga tao sa minsupala ang mag-iingad sa Bangsamoro. Pangninakan rakano, pangninakan sa Parliament, akataguan sa Arga, so kaya rasay o mga mujahidin, mujahidat, naka-aproban agyaya a Parliament Bill number 44. So kung pagkataling ang mga gawi, isa kesabapan ko limo Allah na suka paginuntulan kung mga lulubay. Kipaginuntulanan kung mga lulubay. Kailangan na mibigay kiran so kabnariran. Tanudan. Kaya mala amya katulod sa kaya pakamuayan ubarm. Aron tanuroniman to mapapadalam. Na kaya promasay o mga mujahidin na ayakadaklansan sa mga tawanan na mga lulubay. Siya pantanusiran na ipanindigtan no sukab nariran ayamala na sa mga mujahidin ang mapapadalam ko mga engad a barm ago sa mga engad ada makapagda sa barm datar Alanao del Norte gusto sa Lakauron adar pa wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Floor leader. Yes, what is the pleasure of the gentleman? Another.
Alhamdulillah.
Agad,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. The Interim Chief Minister of Bangsamoro Territorial Authority, Honorable Ahud Balawag Ibrahim, Honorable Speaker Attorney Pangalian Balindo, Deputy Speaker, Majority Floor Leader, Attorney Elijah Dumama Alba. To my esteemed colleagues in the Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So giyaya akabitaro ko na saya napantag sa suporta ko sa mga gan ma-probe o pending Parliament Bill number 44. Yanan so purpose ng Bangsamoro Veteran Mujahideen Act. Sabab ko panindig ko agama namyamong ako sa umpungan sa ako time a ilaga amadakal pamatayin Iran, mga Moro, pagimatayan ni Iran, pangarasan ni Iran, yang agawan sa lupa sa mga Moro. Tamba benar dabay Iran kabnar. Isa ko rago 1968, 1969, second year high school ako. Tagyuto dumba yada minda ko mangagi. Nagwa ko makahanda mangagi na minda makayo ako. May membro ako sa Black Shirt on that time. Na training kami Orian Nanggula-ola o massacre sa Palimbang, Malisbong, Mamili Massacre. Si Kukutay mo martial law, 1971. Niyabalo ako a district commander at 3 municipalities. Parang Matanog, Kapatagan. Sa ako 1974, ni-assign ako Battalion Commander of Bravo, Ikli, Top 90. Classmate Misuari, Top 90. And so under Cassius Clay, panahon pa Top 19 na so. Kaya pagka-recover akan, ko 1974, amya sugat ako sa OP. Nakontrol kami, nakuha kami OP sa 7 days. OP. Nakapito gay na nakontrol kami OP. Pero ako ba nasugat? 1974. Problema tito nadagamot. Di kami pagkapamasa sa gamot. Ay pamulong kami kaginawa kami. Kagina pisikaman ng mga sundaro apya so paracetamol na pisikaman na sundaro on that time. Nayami bu kang gulaw la
na round abayabas. Ipatabulami, ipkunami ko tiyanami. 1974 to. Ko 1973, 1974 to, siya ako nasugat sa tiyan. 1973, nasugat ako sa Matanog. Sa Tiambun. Bali, so, sama sa 1974 na series, namo nga nami battlefield. Siya sa kuha na buwal, isulan, nakatimba ka kamisan, na labi 30 ay laga, kami na tero ba. Binilang kami, so, nakapture dami sinapang, nakuha kami sa field bando, na labi 30. Iningay mi, kano mga tauro, kadami kuha ka moromid, asyak gan. Siya sa Ubay Airport, napagatakam na Meso Airport paganay. O accidentally, na nasugatar kami, na da kami makataro. Nakatimba ka kami sa. Sa tito, katimba ka, nakakuha kami sa sinapang alabi siyotiman. Nakuha ko ro sinapang. Sa timan na carbine, 8 timan na armalite. Kung 1975, sabab kanu kaya patay manap a cadre officer at top 300 minatayro katinimba ka balikbayan. Na inarrange ko, inatur ko sa mga taunin. Ipanon, idiyan kadadag, kadis kakwana. Mato ka magwansiran. Kung 1975, report ako kay Boyasim. Naambus ako manam. Inambus kami balikbayan. Madak na nasugat ko mga padko. Alhamdulillah, nasa ka na dabon. Ako rin masugat. Kaya ambus siya ranto. Na kaya timba ka sa libungan, nanan may tito madakal. Wala, hindi ko nasabihin, hindi ko teron ka, di ka nung maginugot. Pamumba sa plane, ng basketball ako bunsan. Kabulog irang panimba ka ng basketball ako. Para propaganda ka numadakla mga mujahidin, hindi pa kapatay, sinapang. Iya pa kapatay sa kadnan. Na si Abu Khalil Badr na miya nawapan. Kakial ka siya nagkakabasketball warakan. Naka 30 minutes ito pun mamaso maslata ko ang plane. Siya man sa darapanan na naka-miscounter kami san. Natimbak kami Kaji Murad. Padiyan sa mga padaw sa alolama. Agiyan nakuha ko sa pusto mga sundaro. Kaya ko ron, pianimbak kamera. Sabi ko, kami ito, tayo-tayo. Hindi kami nakilala. Over 1 hour, naroon kami kuha okay, so kaya timba kayo na kami na, iganat ka no, 2 o'clock, tama sa 6 o'clock, timba ka kami rubo. Sa mga sundaro, ba? Sa puro na pusto ni Haji Murad. Bali, di ko rin pagkakuanan. Siyabu, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let's now listen to our brother from Island.
Please proceed.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Panagnaan, mabaya ako magpakila ha mga panaiban ko habang sa Moro Parliament ini. Amuin mga sila di pa makakila kaku. Ako ini hidan sala asnawi. Purna Hasityo Bakisung, Barangay Kambug, Albarca Municipality, Basilan Province. Base Commander, Sin 11 Port Base Command. Hapu Basilan. Sabab Sin Designation. Tiukbal Sin Central Committee. Chairman Alhaji Murad Ibrahim. Kakilahan Bihaon. Hangan Chief Minister Honorable Ahud Balawag Ibrahim. Mr. Speaker, Madam Majority Floor Leader, iye pamasamet, kageget, pamaktul sara sin Parliament, umbul 44 inin, yene sara pangahinang office para si Gagandilan Bangsamoro, Lela duk dende, suat teed, duk si waktune. Kegan ku teed, si saweku, MP, serta bakas nakuraku, si Ministry of Science and Technology, MOST, kwene si Dayang-Dayang Engineer Aida M. Silungan. Iye mag-angan-angan, dukdapu pikilan, si pangahinang Sarainin, serta ngilale si Bangsamoro Gagandilan, Salidu Lelaruk Dende, si MILF, Duk MNLF, labi na teed, si siye ngatu, si Parinta, Duk maglugto, si Dialem labi 40 tahun miyaan palabay. Subay hadja tadauhat, kasabed nalanin, si Antara de, dukme raayat Bangsamoro. Serta katumbasan siye, duk natap kasanyanganin, duk kasambuhanin, si siye, duk supaya ngahap pagsaumadyahin, duk parsugpatanden, si Antara Mahadjana Bangsamoro, si Mindanao, duk lahate Pilipinas. Mr. Speaker, Madam Majority Floor Leader, pangayoon ko kaniu katan, ha inumpong sin astana ini, subay tuod suportahan nato, in pagpalabay, iban pag-approve sin bill umbul kapatan tag-upat ini. Sabab masanyang na inhula, iban madawhat na in maksud nato. Sampay yari na kita niyo, bihaon, haasta na ini, nagdapa-dapa sin karayawan. Sabab sin lukto, iban hulas sinsa, sin mga sila katay manghuranta, MNLF, iban sin MILF, kombatan. Huwag sila nagpikil sin luok, hulas, alta, dugo, labi na tuod, inyawa nila. Hasupaya sadya madawhat, in kasabunalan, in kasanyanan, hangan sin Bangsamoro, biya na hawag tu ini. Hasabab ini, subay lingiun na to, bang bakas haunong kita, niyo, tagna, iban haunong kita niyo bihaon. Alhamdulillah, hatiranan sin sara ini, magsukul kita kanila. Iban kadihilan na sila karayawan, ha mga bakas kabinsanaan nila. Sambil pabihaon, masi-masi sila halaum kalamma sin pamaranan. Iban kasigpitan, hakabuhianan. Dain, ha mga kapuan, sinhula tawi-tawi, hulu sulu, labi-labi na tuod, hahula pu basilan. Mr. Speaker, Madam majority floor leader, kegan kuteed sibil inin. Sabab hadyan teed ase-aseme bakas magbono si me MNLF duk MILF si kitehin. Sabab palabay le ga pesiye bakas kaurungan kahapan amban gobyerno para sababan kaitkahan amban siye kulang si pangadji atawa gayjari maghinang si office pasalan sasew pasaran pegga siye makatangbus dukme kaanakan den pasalan sasew dem lahatin si Halley me sasew me sawe ku si me sawe ku kalasahan taamban teed siye me kemon kahapan pangurong amban parintahin dumain kwe siye taga pangadjiin. Habihaon para sa baban dahin haini Mr. Speaker, Madam Majority Floor Leader, iban latun na pamanga panaiban ko hatampat parliament ini mangayo ako junjung subay tuod mapalabay iban maaprubahan nato hamasamot sabab sin kahalgaan sin sara ini parliament bill umbul kapatan tag-upat insyaallah. Sikwa ito para sababan amban inin Mr. Speaker, Madam Majority Floor Leader, duk si kaam kemon kasawe-sawean ko, tuu si astana inin, makuteed ko, junjung, subay tabaktul tabi, yesara landu teed kalagihan, si samet-samet inin, asal subay na teed, kaaprubahan tabi, Parliament Bill umbul 44 insyaallah. Thank you and wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Magsukur si kaam kemon, iban magsukur kaniu katan mga kalasahan. Syukran.
Kung kaya, Mr. Speaker, upang bigyang pagkilala sa mahalagang papel at kontribusyon sa pag-ukit sa kasaysayan at pakikibaka ng Bangsamoro, napapanahon at nararapat lamang na magkaroon ng isang mekanismo upang maibigay ang tamang ayoda sa mga veteranong mujahidin at mujahidat at ang kanilang mga benepisyaryo sa pamamagitan ng pagpasa ng panukalang ito. Mr. Speaker, this bill intends to provide benefits and privileges to the veteran mujahideen and mujahidat and their respective spouses and children. The bill proposes for the establishment of the Bangsamoro Veteran Mujahideen Affairs Office that would facilitate the formulation of institutional plans, programs, and policies for the registration, processing, and provision of financial assistance and other benefits to veteran mujahideen and mujahidat that the office may provide subject to proper assessment and evaluation. The Bangsamoro Veteran Mujahideen Affairs Office would be under the direct supervision of the Ministry of Public Order and Safety. Mr. Speaker and my esteemed colleagues, the enactment of this bill is our humble legacy to the men and women who endured the hardships and put their lives in the forefront of the struggle for the cause of the Bangsamoro. Ito na po ang ating maliit na ambag para sa kanila at sa kanilang mga pamilya. Thus, Mr. Speaker, recognizing their unselfish contribution in realizing our collective aspiration for just and peaceful society of the Bangsamoro is our collective and moral obligation. Ito po ay pinakahihintay ng ating mga kapatid na mujahidin at mujahidat. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. The floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, may move to refer this to the Committee on Rules and the Committee on Finance and Budget.
There's a motion to refer this Bill 44 to the Committee on Finance and the Committee on Rules. Any second? Any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, may I now turn over the floor to our floor leader for some administrative announcement.
The floor leader is recognized.
Thank you, Deputy Floor Leader, Attorney Jose Lorena, and thank you, Ma'am Aida and the MPs who spoke earlier. Sir, the next speaker, the next item is actually in the, I'm not sure why the distributed copy of the order of business does not show that there's supposed to be an announcement on expanded membership, committee membership on some of the committees. But if I may, if I could read out some of the committees and the composition, Mr. Speaker, for the floors, for the members of this Parliament's collective action, Mr. Speaker.
To approve, for the
Yes.
Parliament to approve the members. Please proceed.
So I would just like to explain also that this is not all of the committees because we are experiencing some challenges with other committees. But on the Committee on Accounts, Chair is MP Ana Tarhata Basman. Vice Chair is MP Paisalin Tago. Members, MP Eddie Ali, MP Khalid Haji Abdullah, MP Suharto Ismael, MP Aida Silongan, MP Abdullah Makapaar, MP Ubayda Pakasem, MP Jaafar Mikail Matalam, MP Marjani Makasalong, MP Lanang Ali Jr. as regular member, MP Romeo Sema, MP Abdulaziz Aminoden, MP Matarul Estino, MP Liza Alamia as regular member, MP Amil Bahar Mawalil, and MP Siti Fahani S. Uy Oyod. I move that the foregoing names be confirmed as members of the Committee on Accounts, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion duly seconded to confirm the names that were mentioned earlier. There any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved. Committee on Accounts, Chair and the members.
For Committee on Ethics, Mr. Chair, Chairperson MP at Deputy Speaker Omar Yasser Sema, Vice Chairperson MP Abdullah Hashim, members MP Said Salendab, MP Muhammad Yacob, MP Tawakal Midtimbang, MP Ali Salik, MP Abdul Wahab Pak, MP Ali Sulaiman, MP Ibrahim Ali, MP Abdullah Gayak, MP Hussein Munoz, MP Muslimin Jakilan, MP Hamid Malik, MP Noreda Miswari, MP Tarhata Maglangit, MP Rasul Y. Mitmog Jr., and MP Michael Midtimbang. I move that the foregoing names be confirmed and approved as members of the committee.
There's a motion duly seconded to approve the names mentioned for the chairmanship and vice chair and members of the Committee on Ethics. The names were earlier enumerated. Is there a duly seconded and there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
For Committee on Ways and Means, Chairperson MP Paisalin Tago, Vice Chairperson MP Ubayda Pakasem, members MP Basir Uto, MP Basit Abbas, MP Siti Fahani Uy Oyod, MP Amrusi Makatanong, MP Matarul Estino, MP Ahmad Abbas, MP Baileng Mantawil, MP Ali Salik, MP Rasul Y. Mitmog Jr., MP Nabila Margarita Pangandaman, MP Muslimin Jakilan, MP Froylin Mendoza, MP John Anthony Lim, MP Bayintan Ampatuan, MP Den Martin Kahalan, and MP Eddie Ali. I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Committee on Ways and Means, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to approve the membership, chair, vice chair, and the membership of the Committee on Ways and Means. The names as enumerated by the floor leader. Is there any second? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Those names are confirmed.
For Committee on Blue Ribbon, Chairperson MP Lanang Ali Jr., Vice Chairpersons MP Kadil Sinolinding Jr. and MP Marjani Makasalong, Members MP Jamila Ramos, MP Amrusi Makatanong, MP Edward Guerra, MP Muhammad Yacob, MP Suaib Oranon, MP Harun Abbas, MP Mohager Iqbal, MP Hussein Munoz, MP Abdul Rauf Makakua, MP Michael Midtimbang, MP Baileng Mantawil, MP Suharto Esmael, MP Matarul Estino, MP Muslimin Jakilan, MP Romeo Sema, MP Randolph Parcasio, MP Muhammad Kelly Antao, MP Hashemi Dalangalen, MP Liza Alamia as a regular member, MP Don Mustafa Loong, MP Basir Uto, MP Ali Montaha Babaw, and MP Abdulaziz Aminuden. I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Committee on Blue Ribbon, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to approve the chairmanship, vice chair, and the membership of the Committee on Blue Ribbon Committee. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
For Committee on Local Government, Chairperson MP Attorney Raisa Jajuri, Vice Chairpersons Deputy Speaker Benjamin Loong, and MP Muhammad Kelly Antao, Members MP Mohager Iqbal, MP Kadil Sinolinding Jr., MP Ramon Piang Sr., MP Marjani Makasalong, MP Eddie Ali, MP Matarul Estino, MP Hashemi Dilangalen, MP Amrusi Makatanong, MP Edward Guerra, MP Ibrahim Ali, MP Abdullah Hashim, MP Tawakal Midtimbang, MP Baileng Mantawil, MP Ubayda Pakasem, MP Basir Uto, MP Randolph Parcasio, MP Ali Montaha Babaw, MP Tarhata Maglangit, MP Faisal Caron, MP Abdul Rauf Makakua, MP Dan Asnawi, MP Don Loong, MP Rasul Ismael, MP Suharto Ambuludto, MP Ishak Mastura, MP Siti Fahani Uy Oyod, and MP Aida Silongan. I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Committee on Local Government.
There's a motion duly seconded to approve the membership to include the chair and vice chair of the Committee on Local Government. The names were enumerated, all enumerated. Do I hear any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Committee on Local Government.
For the Committee on Social Services, Chairperson MP Aida Silongan, Vice Chairperson MP Noreda Miswari, and MP Baileng Mantawil. Members MP Said Sheikh, MP Abdullah Hashim, MP Suharto Ismael, MP Mujib Abu, MP Tarhata Maglangit, MP Baymaleha Candao, MP Musber Alaudin, MP Susana Anayatin, MP Tawakal Midtimbang, MP Abdullah Makapaar, MP Nabila Margarita Pangandaman, MP Mil Bahar Mawalil, MP Siti Farhani S. Uy Oyod, MP Rasul Ismael, MP Dan Asnawi, and MP Abdulaziz Aminuden. I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Expanded Committee on Social Services here.
All the enumerated. There's a motion to approve the membership of the Committee on Social Services. All names were enumerated. Duly seconded? Duly seconded. And do I hear any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
For Committee on Science and Technology, Chairperson MP Suharto Ismael, Vice Chairperson MP Kadil Sinolinding Jr., Members MP Abdullah Hashim, MP Aida Silongan, MP Ali Sangki, MP Mujib Abu, MP Hamid Malik, MP Ishak Mastura, MP Nureda Miswari, MP Michael Mitimbang, MP Rasul Ismael, MP Siti Farhani Uy Oyod, MP Ali Salik, MP Ahmad Abbas, MP Susana Anayatin, MP Ibrahim Ali, and MP Abdul Wahab Pak. I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Committee on Science and Technology.
There's a motion duly seconded to approve the names enumerated as members of the Committee on Science and Technology. There any objection? Here's none. The same is hereby approved.
For Committee on Public Order and Safety, Chairperson MP Suaib Oranon, Vice Chairpersons, Deputy Speaker Lanang Ali Jr., MP Dan Asnawi, MP Basit Abbas, MP Muhammad Kelly Antao, Members MP Jaafar Apollo Mikael Matalam, MP Al-Bakil Jikiri, MP Abdullah Makapaar, MP Ali Salik, MP Abdul Rauf Makakuwa, MP Adfar Usman, MP Ramon Piang Sr., MP Faisal Caron, MP Hussein Munoz, MP Ahmad Abbas, MP Ali Sangki, MP Suharto Ambuludto, MP Said Sheikh, MP Froilin Mendoza, MP Tawakal Mitimbang, MP Basir Uto, and MP Mujib Abu. I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Expanded Committee on Public Order and Safety.
Order and Safety. And duly seconded. Do I hear any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
For the Committee on Indigenous Peoples, Chairperson MP MP Ramon Piang Sr., Vice Chairperson MP Froilin Mendoza, Members MP Basit Abbas, MP Said Salendab, MP Abdul Wahab Pak, MP Abdul Lagayak, MP Kadil Sinolinding Jr., MP Suaib Oranon, MP Muslimin Jakilan, MP Al-Bakil Jikiri, MP Hamid Malik, MP Susana Anayatin, MP Ibrahim Ali, MP Don Mustafa Loong, MP Muhammad Kelly Antao, MP Dan Asnawi, and MP Mosber Aloudin. Mr. Speaker, I move that the foregoing names be approved as members of the Committee on Indigenous People.
There is a motion duly seconded to approve all the names mentioned as members of the Committee on Indigenous People. Do I hear any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The rest of the committee memberships will be part of the unfinished business for the next session, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Floor Leader.
I therefore move for the adjournment of today's plenary session
There is a motion to
until further
Ah.
notice.
there's a motion to adjourn, which needs no second. So the motion is approved. Session adjourned.